So, today our topic, we will talk about a few strategies, meaning ways, okay, that can help companies to succeed in a competitive market. And later in our class, we will talk about the dangers of a competitive market, okay, on companies. So now I will go as usual, step by step, and explain each thing. Now, when a business is getting built, okay, building a business, this is not easy. Okay, you can be faced with a lot of challenges till that business actually manages to stand up, build something proper, start to produce, get profit. All of these things, it needs time, it needs effort, so it's not easy. So it can take years, sometimes, for certain companies to actually have a stronghold. A stronghold meaning a stronghold in the market. So the name to be known, the customers to trust the company. So customer trust also very difficult to get. You need time, you need a lot of effort to achieve that. So it's not easy to build a company. Now, some of the most successful companies basically offer innovative products and services, innovative ones, and create a niche, untapped market, creating new demand. This is here important. So something in the market that is not already established, a niche, something that others have missed. So these companies tap on this niche and work on that. Untapped market means a part of the market that nobody really touched upon. So they use that to create something innovative, and through that create new demand. New demand, we already know the difference between needs, wants, demands. So new demand from whom? From the people, from the potential customers, okay? Now, we need to know that market. When we say about the market, all of this is the market where all the companies, businesses exist. This is the market, okay? Markets usually get saturated. Saturated, meaning there is too much competition around. So, for example, if, as we said before, if one type of a company opens here, and then we have another one next to it, another on the other street, too many companies of the same type in the same place, this creates what? Saturation of the market. And when we talk about the market as a whole, too many of the same type of companies that offer the same designs, the same products, the same services, this creates a saturation in the market. So too much exists of the same. And this also means too much competition around, okay? So, a lot of copying exists in such markets. So, for example, you see, this type of company succeeded a little bit. Let me open the same type of company, offer the same services, the same products, the same designs. Okay, so this is copying basically, and this in the end creates saturation in the market, which creates a lot of problems basically. So, when we have a saturated market with a lot of competition, some innovation, some innovative approaches need to be applied if new companies want to possibly succeed. Because if you open the same type of company in a saturated market with a lot of competition, your success is not that high. You're actually from the beginning lower the success. That is if you offer the same thing that the other company offers. Because now the customers will get divided between you two. So nothing new here, nothing new here. So it's like what? And if we have 10, 20, 30 companies the same way, so the chances of the company succeeding is diminished. So we need some innovation here, some innovative approaches in such a situation. So we will look at some of the strategies that could be applied when the market gets saturated, too much of the same available, okay? One of them is the Blue Ocean Strategy. Blue Ocean Strategy proposes that, look, instead of fighting for a share in the highly competitive but shrinking market, look for unexplored new segments. So it tells you that stop fighting for a share in the where the market is very competitive. Stop fighting that you also get a small share of, like for example, this company has 100 customers. I fight for a share to get some of his customers by offering the same thing they are offering. So this is fighting for a share in something that already exists. So no, instead of doing that, because the market in this case is also shrinking, you don't have a lot of customers available in such a type of market. So try to find unexplored new segments, something that's still unexplored, where there is not a lot of competition. So when you do that, you actually make the competition irrelevant. So when I'm dealing with a new segment of the market as a company owner, even if there is hundreds of companies around me, they are not in competition with me, because what I do is different than them. It's like I have a design company, and next to me is a bakery for bread. This does not affect me, because this bakery is not in competition with a design company. But if I'm a graphic design company, next to me a graphic design company offering the same thing, this is a competition. Okay? But so, finding new segments in the market to explore as a company owner, this will make the competition irrelevant. So no matter how many companies around me exist, they don't affect me anymore. So now the traditional market is known as the red ocean. The blue ocean is this what we just explained. Now let us see some of the differences, main differences between the two. So the traditional, the red ocean strategy, it focuses on current customers, like the available customers for graphic design companies. Let's say, for example, let's say 1 million. Anybody who opened in this market segment, another of this type of company, will focus on the already existing customers. So you're trying to take customers from companies that offer the same thing like you. So you're fighting for the existing customers. While the blue ocean strategy focuses on non-customers, so still new people, people that were not customers until now. So you focus on them, not the existing ones, only to try to basically take them from the other companies. So here you compete in an existing market with a lot of other companies that offer the same thing. Here you create what? You create uncontested markets. So something that is out of the competition in a way, something new, something different. Here you try to beat the competition. I am a graphic design company, this is a graphic design company. I opened new, I try to beat that one next to me. To beat him, like to destroy him, okay? So that I can succeed. This is beating the competition. And if you open in a highly competitive market, a company, this is what you will be dealing with, okay? Here, the competition becomes irrelevant because you're dealing something totally different. Exploit existing demand. Here, create new demand, okay? So here the demand is already known, and we try to exploit it further, okay? Here we create new demand. There is no competition for it. Here in the traditional market, making the value-cost trade-off. Now what is value-cost trade-off? We already discussed this in other ways before. So here I put you an explanation, what it means. So this value-cost trade-off, meaning it is the conventional belief that companies can either create greater value to customers at a higher cost, or the opposite. So this means if I increase the value, I increase the cost of this product or design. And if I make it lower value, for example, I decrease the quality, I also lower the cost. We explained this thing before, and this exists in the market. Basically, all the time this is applied. However, if the blue ocean strategy is used, since you are dealing with totally new rules here, Even this rule can be broken, and still you can succeed. So you don't have to follow this rule at all times. So this is for you, not a rule, if you follow the blue ocean strategy. So here everything is different, okay? This one not so important, but these are the most important here, the upper, okay? So this one was the red ocean versus the blue. The red ocean, the ones that we normally see. The blue ocean is a slightly different strategy applied in a saturated market. That's too much competition. Then you need to think about this kind of methods. Okay? Now we will see another type of method, a strategy. Okay? It's called the design-driven innovation. So design-driven innovation means the radical innovation of product meanings. The innovation doesn't emerge from current user needs, but is a new vision. We have a new vision here, okay? New product meanings, new vision. Some kind of a proposal, an idea, okay? Developed that radically redefines, meaning changes the meaning of what a product could mean for people. So it's like something totally new that changes not the product itself, but the meaning that people put in this product, in this design. This meaning, of course, could affect the design, but it's the meaning that is the product meaning is the main focus here, and it doesn't focus on what current user needs. It doesn't focus on current user needs, but it's some kind of a new vision, new idea for the future, not for now. So the research usually focuses on what customers, people need now or want now. But this is different. This is for the future, basically, wants, needs. So it's something that is not happening right now. Now, in general, we have certain approaches when we talk about innovation. Now, in general, it is either user-centered or a technological push, or we have a third one, which is the design-driven innovation. Now, the first two, let's go back here. The first two, user-centered, is basically the incremental type of innovation. That change happens step by step, depending on the user needs. For example, the user needs changes, and the design changes according to their needs. So incrementally, meaning in small steps. This is one of the approaches used all the time. The other one is pushed by the technology, technological push. That means anytime a new technology is invented, the designers take this technology and think of ways how they can incorporate it into their design to improve the design for the people. So it can be either through this way, through a technological development, so that the change happening, the innovation happening through these methods, or it can be through this third one, design-driven innovation, meaning radical innovation of the product meanings. So this, it's very important for the design-driven innovation. We already said it's something that will happen in the future. So you go beyond what customers currently, now meaning currently, ask for. But you look into the future. What in the future will excite them to buy? So this is the most important, in the future. So this is actually a very difficult approach to apply, because you're talking about future things. So you need to have, okay, you have a vision for the future. I have an idea that in the future, like after 5 years, people will want to buy, for example, a certain things, or their behavior as a society will change in a way that will demand other products. But this is like you're trying to predict the future. Not that it can't be done. There are methods that can be used to predict what will happen. But this needs a lot of knowledge from many areas. A lot of knowledge about the people themselves, the target group of people, basically society in general, politics, economics, the overall global whatever is happening. So you need a lot of deep knowledge and a lot of information to have so that you can analyze and predict how society and people's needs, wants, demands will change in the future. Now when we take the future, it could be after 1 year, it could be 10 years, 20 years. Okay? So this analysis is not easy to make. So I want to meet whatever people will want much later in the future. So as a company, I'm working towards that so that I am the first one who will meet those needs and wants when the time comes. So, but this is one way how an approach that can be applied by companies to actually innovate, to meet people's needs in the future, not only now, not only what is available now to compete for it. Okay? This is the easier way, and this is what we see daily happening. Okay? But there are other ways how to deal with things. Now, we will see, now these strategies that we just talked about, they're just a few, very few among many. So if you're really involved in opening a company in the future, you can read about other strategies, but those are the ones mostly focused on what we need, what we can understand as designers, and basically what we need to discuss. But there are other strategies that also companies can employ. Now let us see a little bit about the dangers that competitive markets can place on companies. So when we have a competitive market that has a lot of competition between companies, what dangers can happen? So we have the competition-driven design. What is that? We see that all the time when basically this is an attempt by companies to match the competition in all products. So basically all the products you try to you have a company and the same one opened next to you. You see what they are making, I make the same. What they are designing, I design the same. This is basically like copying what already exists. And what will happen eventually is that all the products will look the same. So if this company make a brochure that look in a certain way, designed in a certain way, and you do the same. Or the wedding cards, you can see the same designs everywhere. To go to this printing company, to that printing company, they all use the same designs in general, So if this happens, all the products start looking the same in the end. Now, this is not immediately a bad thing, but eventually the market will become saturated with the same stuff. So we have a problem. So what will happen in this case? The customer will not prefer any company. It's like if I go to this company, I get this quality, this type of designs, this type of products. Why should I go to the other one if the other one offers the same things? So this hurting the company itself, the profit, the success, everything, if they cannot differentiate themselves from the others. This is very important. So, also most companies start to compare themselves, comparing features with their competition. To determine what, to find out if they are successful or not successful. It is like what? If you are assigned in the university to do an exercise. I tell you, for example, do this drawing, and I show you the technique, and you do it. And then you look at your friend. My friend, how did my friend do it? Let me see. Okay? You try to find the mistakes you did in your drawing by looking at your friend's drawing to fix your mistakes. But this is wrong to do. Instead, so this applies not only to companies, it applies even to you right now in the work. So this is wrong to do, to compare my work with another student's work. No, to see my mistakes. Instead, I try to find what? Where I am stronger, in which parts I am stronger, and this is what I should build upon, not by comparison. By finding out where are my strong areas, this is what I will focus my effort on. The same companies, okay? So you don't look at someone else's work and compare, are you successful or not successful? You focus at your strong points and you try to improve on that. Only this way you will succeed properly. Because by comparing, what will happen? By comparing yourself to someone, you will only copy what that someone did. But this someone may be not excellent. So maybe you're not comparing yourself to someone excellent, so you will copy only that level of that person or that company. You cannot go beyond that. So stop focusing, stop on this kind of stuff, stop comparing yourself. Okay? Just focus on the strong points, put your effort in it, and develop. Okay? It doesn't matter what others do. And the same for companies. It's the same advice. There is something else dangerous that can happen in a competitive market, which is creeping futurism. So what is that? It's the tendency to add to the number of features of a product, often beyond any reason. What does that mean? Creeping futurism exists when there is a lot of competition. So, again, you're looking at you're a company and you're looking what the others are doing. Okay, you try to differentiate yourself by adding extra features to whatever you're designing. So, like the mobile, for example. The mobiles have a lot of features in them. So let me add a new feature to it so that people will maybe buy my design more than the others. So this is creeping futurism. And the more features keep adding and adding and adding and adding, in the end the design becomes confusing. You know, there is a certain point where people cannot take more features. It's like, okay, for a certain level, having different features is a nice thing in a design. You can do a lot of things with it. But when they become over a certain level, people, like for example, will not use it. It's like I have thousands of features in the mobile. In reality, I use only maybe a couple of them. So all the other features that exist, I never use them. So for what they are designed? For what were they designed? So this is when we say creeping futurism. More and more and more and more features, more details are added, more possibilities, but not enough research. Are the people really going to use this? So this is a problem. So design is only successful if people buy it, use it, enjoy it, and basically designers or companies need to focus to satisfy people's needs. When we talk about the function, of being understandable, usable, whatever you're designing. And of course, to deliver the emotional satisfaction. This is also important in every design. So design is like a total experience. We already talked about this in the past. So, instead of focusing on, because some companies can become over-focused in comparison themselves with others and adding features that really people don't need. So don't forget that what people truly need is your focus. If you're focusing on the current market we're talking about, not for the future, the current market. Okay, what do people really need? Not just adding new things to a design and not doing the research properly, if it will be needed or not. Because you see, every time you add new features to a design, you're also adding to the cost. You're adding to the cost, and the people buy this for extra money, and then if I use only 20% of the features, what did I gain? You know? This is a problem. Also, some companies, when there is a lot of competition, we say, they start losing track of the customer real needs. and they start putting a lot of focus on the profit. Because when there is a competitive market, saturated market, with a lot of competition, basically the profit of the companies go down. It starts going down and down because there is a lot of competition. So 10 graphic design companies open next to each other. Of course, they will receive less profit than if you are the only one in Irbit, for example, of this type. Imagine if you're the only one, everybody will come only to you. If there are 100, the customers get distributed. So the companies earn less profit. So in this case, they start focusing too much on profit. How can we increase the profit? How can we increase the profit? Through other methods, but losing the track of what is really needed to be done for the customer. This can, in the end, make the company lose, because they will lose the customers. Because focusing too much on profit means sometimes they could use methods that are not really beneficial for the users, or methods that use a little bit of tricking here and there, selling something as good quality when it's in fact bad quality, and the customers will find out in the end, and they will stop buying from you. So, in the end, there is no good outcome for this. Too much focus on the profit only. So, we already know about the 4 different types of innovation. We discussed them before. What is the difference between them? But there are 4 types, but really the 2 major types there are 2 basically, the incremental and the radical. This is the major 2 types. The others have features of both, okay? And we already know what is incremental innovation, slowly evolutionary development of a design, improvement of a design, slowly in small steps, okay? And most designs, we explained before, use incremental innovation to, in the real world we talk about. Most designs are developed through incremental innovation, not radical changes, okay? And this is the generally safer method in the industry. So when you do a small change to a design, it's more safe than to do a radical change, everything to change about it. So if you fail with this change, you will fail with the small change, not fail totally, with the entire product. So it's generally more safe and more predictable. That's why it's applied by most companies. And the radical, on the other hand, is radical new development. For example, new technologies emerge and it's applied. The result of the product can function in totally new ways, and have new possibilities, capabilities. So the radical innovation can really make big changes to society, to people, to our lives. Incremental innovations improve on things. Now, both are good. Both are really good. We need them both in industry. This and this are needed. You cannot say this is bad, this is good, or no. Both are needed, but they have to be in the correct place, depending on the company, depending on many things. Any problem at the back? Please try to put your mobiles to the side and to focus here, okay? Or at least not to talk. Okay? Now, we will talk a little bit more about the radical new innovations or ideas and their dangers. Now, there is something we didn't mention before. This thing. We see that technology changes all the time. All the time you have technological developments. And it's usually fast. Technology changes very, very fast. But people and cultures do not. People and cultures change very slowly. So we have certain things in society that change very fast, and certain things that can take hundreds of years to change. So this is very important to understand as a designer. People, way of thinking, the culture, the way of doing things, the habits, all of these things are difficult things to change, take a lot of time. But technology, all the time we have development in technology. So, how can this be applied to design? Okay? Now, it can take, for example, a few months for a new idea, a radical idea, a totally new design, to go through the entire design process, from the idea to the manufacture to the sale. It can take several months. Okay? But will this new product be accepted by the people? Will it be accepted? Here is where you need to be very careful. Like you might think as the designer of this product, you might think, wow, I have a great idea, radical idea. This is fantastic, But once this product reaches the market, the other people don't think it's, it's like, okay, it's kind of a great idea, but I'm kind of, it doesn't fit with my style of living, it doesn't fit with my culture, I don't understand it, I'm afraid of it. There's many reasons that can happen, because people are hard to change. But technology easy to apply in a new design. Now, the larger companies, well-established large companies that work for many years and are successful, they are not accepting to radical change easily. Because the failure is also very high when you have a radical new idea. So in general, they will not accept radical changes, while they prefer the incremental improvements, okay? If you have smaller companies, now they can also refuse radical change because they don't have enough money to invest. But smaller companies at the same time, they are more willing to try new things. Because if the money that they have invested is not as much and they have not established themselves in the market, they will say, okay, sometimes let's try it. Maybe we will succeed. Maybe it will be a great success. So smaller companies are sometimes more likely to take this opportunity for a radical change. So it really depends. So in general, the general reasons for failure are this. So the marketplace and people are not ready. We discussed that. They're not ready for this idea. They're not ready for this design. Market research hasn't been done well, okay? And the opinion of the people, what the people think about this, has been ignored. So it's very important to make this type of research if your idea is something totally new. Because you need to know, will the people accept it or not? Not to fail, So research has to be done before the product reaches the market. The technology is not ready for commercialization. Now, the technology may be available, but it's not ready to be commercialized, meaning spread and used among the people. It's like, now we have the electric cars. Electric cars, everybody knows. The technology exists. Everyone knows in general how it works. But let's say the electric car wants to be made popular among people in a country where there is no infrastructure for this. So I buy an electric car and I live somewhere in a very basic country which doesn't even have proper infrastructure, and I want to use my electric car and I cannot charge it. Like I drive with it and stop somewhere. Okay, where can I charge my car? This is what I mean. So before you put a new idea out in the market, you need to commercialize it. Commercialize it. The technology might be available, but is the country, is the infrastructure, are the people ready for this? This is the question. So this can fail because of this reason. The company might run out of money before it gains traction. This is a major reason. It's always, I'm trying a new idea, I'm spending money to actually develop this design, and then I run out of money. I need more money, I don't have more money. What to do now? The company closes, okay? So this is why new radical ideas can be dangerous for companies. Let's see a few examples, as a last thing in this class. The digital camera, okay? When the first digital cameras came out, well, maybe you don't remember this period, maybe it was before you. So when the first digital cameras were released, they failed. People did not accept them. So, first of all, the technology of the digital camera was still in its beginning stages. It worked, but still in the beginning. And people did not really understand it. It's like, for what I need a digital camera? I already have a camera with a film. You've been using the old-fashioned cameras with film for a long time, all your life. For what now this digital camera? What is this? I don't understand it, So, the technology was still limited. It wasn't popular among the people. So it failed. Also the higher price. If you buy a traditional camera with a film, it was much cheaper than suddenly buying digital camera. It's like, for what should I spend so much money? Many people ask themselves. So, for that reason, it also failed. And people were not ready to dismiss film and chemical processing to basically photographs. They were used to the old ways of doing things. This is a habit. You see, it's like a habit. You're used to doing something, and then a designer comes along, designs for you something new, and offer you this product, this new design. Maybe you don't want it. This is what we say. You need to do your research properly for any design that will reach people, because you don't know how people will accept it, or will they or won't they. So it took a lot of years to actually the digital camera idea to spread and to succeed, like we have nowadays. Everyone uses digital. Huh? Another example, the Google Glass, 2015. So, these eyeglasses, as a design, had basically a camera in them. Okay? So you can record your daily activities, while walking around. So you don't have to have a mobile app or a camera app or whatever. You just walk and the eyeglasses already record everything. I don't need to put a camera here. I can just, look at the screen, look at everyone, and it records everything. It's a nice idea, but the research wasn't done properly here about the consequences of this. So it raised some serious questions about privacy. So it's like, okay, it's a great idea, but at the same time, imagine everybody starting to wear these eyeglasses with cameras, and wherever I'm walking, everybody photographing me. It's like, okay, I need some privacy. I don't want everyone to take pictures of me all the time, or videos, So people did not like it. Even though as an idea it's great for some purposes, for some uses. But the privacy issue was a big issue here. So people did not kind of like it. Also, it was very expensive, like $1,500 in the beginning. So imagine in dinar how much this will be. Almost the same, okay? So in this way, it was discontinued in 2015 because of this problem. If the research was done beforehand, maybe this would have been, it would not have had the same result. The Galaxy foldable phone by Samsung. So this was like a phone that you can use as a tablet, open it, and then fold it. And you can use this part separately of the phone. So it's basically foldable. The screen is foldable. Okay, when you look at it, okay, it's a kind of a nice idea. Besides that, it had many other features, nice features. It was unique in many ways. You can have, when you open it, you can have suddenly a bigger screen. You can use it there is many apps inside, many other nice features, you know, that user should love. But what is the problem? Why it didn't succeed? Why it didn't succeed? So it failed basically because when the device was folded, it became very thick. You see, the normal mobile have a specific thickness, so people usually put it in pockets, in jackets, you know, like this kind of stuff. And imagine if you have a thick mobile, suddenly like 2 mobiles put together or more, people will not be able to do that movement. So here research was not enough done about how people use the product. Not everybody put mobile in a bag and carry it. So some people put it in their pockets. So these people did not like it because it's too thick, you know. So it had some problems here. And also, the screen itself, to make it foldable, the technology had to use a specific type of screen, and this kind of screen had a plastic film protector on it, which in a way looked, people usually by mistake peel it off, peel off the protective surface, and then they damage the mobile. So it wasn't very clear as a design that this shouldn't be touched, you know. So that was another problem, and it was too fragile. Fragile meaning it can break very easily and get destroyed for the price that you need to pay, like $2,000 for it. With these problems here, you know, people did not quite like it. So it failed because of that. Again, proper research, it can prevent this happening, failure. Before you spend so much money as a company investing in a new design, and then when it goes out, testing it on real people and then failing. And all this money has been lost. I think this is one final example, electric motorcycles. So motorcycles that work by electricity, okay? It was a very nice idea. Very nice idea. So, but here in this design, what happened? It was a mechanical issue that basically made the company fail. So they had a problem with the throttle controls, so it's a mechanical problem. Now any design that you design, especially products, we talk about products, any product, if they end up with any mechanical issue problem, consider it total failure. The whole company will fail after that. And it happened with cars also. Cars that have been sold and then discovered that they have a mechanical problem. Nobody, wants to buy from these cars. So this here was the main issue with this. Otherwise, it was a very great idea, have a lot of uses, but because of this problem, the company had to close. So a lot of problems can happen in companies to make them succeed or fail. It's not an easy task, as we said in the beginning of the lecture. And there is a lot of strategies, a lot of methods that can help companies succeed, whether design companies or other. But still in the end, well, you can reduce the risk by applying the correct methods, by doing the research. But in the end, still the risk exists. It's a market, okay? So you should be basically clear about this as designers. Okay, thank you for today.